I'm back. Channel of Athletes, a week was skipped, the weekend was skipped, but we're back again. I am, as you already know me, I am your vehicle. Through this game that we call sports, I am Gogeto, Huncho, Hit Huncho, HunchoJack for many. Yeah, and I'm back. I'm back to give you the insight, to give you the lowdown, and to give you a lot of information, somewhat a bit of analysis. And yeah, I'm here to do the job that I often frequently am required to do, which is this pays my bills or will in the near future. So yeah, I'm here, man. I'm in a chill position today. I'm in my recovery mode. I'm not working out anymore for the next couple of weeks. I'm steady chilling. Just working on assessing and analyzing games. My personal fitness journey took a bit of a pause, so we are at a point of which we're trying to better everything that we do. So we need breaks, we need rest in between. If you go to the gym, you rest between sets, and this is my rest period. I'll soon get back to what I do best, which is dominating on the basketball court. But then I have to wait. There's a lot more interesting stuff in the pipeline, in the works, and they'll probably be produced in the next coming weeks. Probably gonna put on the channel in about a month or so. So yeah. And now you're wondering, why isn't he sitting? Where's the wardrobe? As I said, I just switched positions, and I'm just chilling today. I'm gonna get into the games. Yeah, I'm just tired, guys. I'm really tired. But yeah, we're gonna get into the lowdown. Not sponsored, by the way. So many parts I'm gonna have to cut out, but okay, let's get into it. I'm Sanjay. Today, guys, as we normally do it, we're doing football. I missed a week of games, of analysis, but I'm back now. Unfortunately, I had to attend to family-related matters, and I couldn't afford myself the time to record the show. Definitely, I watched all the games, but I didn't have time to record. I just from the top of my head, there's just one moment that stuck out from the previous week's games, and it was the forward player for Chupa United, Ronaldo. He seemed like a pretty talented player, has a lot of flair. It's a very interesting player. I'll definitely say that in the PSL, he's one of those guys of which Mangba Pega. Yeah, man, he has something about his game that makes you very interested to watch him play a lot more of the game, And yeah, that's probably the only standout and highlight moment I had from the top of my head, because the rest of the weekend's games, yeah, hey, that's neither here nor there. For the focus this. I thought I had speech open already. Oh, I'll finish it. It's too please too. Hey, but we're gonna get into the simple games. Rapitori mi bra. Rapitori robatsena. Street one time. Waitsilwena. Sundowns to Tamigilele, Cape Town Spurs, obviously. Sundowns were the most informed team in the PSL. Baba Taba Tola front and center. Home away. Arnata Bartsena Ratsena Rakora Rafire. Rakena and got 3 points and out. And then you have to look at Cape Town Spurs on the other side. The team over Elur Joe. I don't really win. Fuck all. Next. Bottom of the PSL standings. I think you might have 3 points if they are the most uninformed team of PSLing. Probably second West Karage Golden Arrows. Maarman, I to create a win, I to create a draw. Just loss after loss after loss after loss. And I pause already. At some point, man, what's gonna give here? A week, But besides that, I'll never like a Sundowns is in control. Substitutions, only 2 players from the previous game that they played started in the starting 11. So all about 9 changes all in the first team. So, and they scored 3 goals. The goals I think it is smart, Joe. Shadolila's goal was a good counter-attacking goal. And then you look at Sipho Mbula's goal, long range strike effort, beautiful stuff. It's things of which you don't really get to consistently witness. And when they do come to pass, Audubon, Watchman or no, that's you have to give credit where credit's due. The coach just of the team. Sundowns squad is built in such a way of whichever player we drop it can affect the performance. At the end of the day, but what's Hameka, whoever young team or momentang or training team is perform and perform. And if you look at the competitions that they're playing in, rotation by Joe, because August Hameki, you can't play the same 11 in 3 different competitions. And you have a game midweek weekend. On top of that, considering travel, jet lag is a real thing. Oh, but but in all, it was a good performance. It was one of those things of which you look at how they played, you look at who contributed to them winning, you look at the manner in which they played. It was a very convincing game. Of course, we take into consideration the opposition, but regardless of that, just how the team, there's a sense of continuity in the team, of which is very impressive, of which is very respectable. So we pick them up and say, no, they're doing phenomenal stuff. They're doing great work. Coach Rulani is doing phenomenal work. I guess the question is unreasonable or yeah. I don't think that it's impossible for Sundowns to go a whole season unbeaten. Because I think already as it looks, they're probably going to wrap up the league probably in Feb. By Feb, we're going to know. By month end of Feb, we might know who's going to win the league, right? And why do I say that? It's because they've went through almost every team in the PSL. Granted, they have about 3 games in hand. They've played almost every team in the PSL and they've beaten them. And they haven't been convincing in every game. Definitely the Cape Town Spurs game, one of the most convincing games. I think one of the 3 games of which they had over 500 passes put together in the entire game. Phenomenal stats. But you also look at how the whole thing came to pass, right? How the performance wasn't only convincing, but the kind of goals that they scored, the kind of chances that they created. Statistically, they were all over there, right? You're looking at it here, they had 18 shots and 8 on target. Cape Town Spurs had none. They had over 70% possession, 76 to be exact. So statistically, they had one of their better, if not best, performances that I've seen for me this season. I think it was expected. When the team top of the log playing the team bottom of the log, especially when the team bottom of the log is playing away from home, they really aren't leaving their place with any intentions or aspirations to get a point at Sundowns. They're just going in, they're hoping to survive. And they failed to, right? They should have been punished by more, but it just didn't happen. Which is something to command, I guess. Yeah, there's been nothing else to say about Cape Town Spurs. They haven't had the best performances. They aren't the best team in the league. They're trying. Abayitu survive, marabazama, baflopile. I guess, yeah, there's really not much to take from them. And from a Sundowns side, bafana bastyle batseni, bakora, bavaya, bamnat, they did what they needed to do. When them Sibiti so kudos to them or shout outs to them, but they did what they needed to do. And that's respectable. Right. But then you move on to the next game, Amazulu and Sekhukhune. Hey, it was a weird one. I didn't see this one because, as I've already complained in the previous episode, there's a tendency to play both games at the same time. August made game to 7, Joe. Like what are we doing? And it really does frustrate me. Like, put one game after the other. Start with the Amazulu and Sekhukhune game and then give us another game afterwards. But no. So also to Amazulu ngathi before Mnyana, Bamnandi. it's in patches. It's not really, they don't really have they haven't really put a consistent run of form of which you can be like, okay, bayadlala labantu bazimisela ukuwina, they intend on finishing somewhere on the top half of the table. Some games they look good, amanye amagame ubuka ngathi abayazi into abayenzayo. Ngesinye isikhathi uyayibona into abahlanganisayo, ngesinye isikhathi awuboni. Iyakudida nje. At the end of the day, you look at how they've been playing and our performances match the results. It's not steady, right? You can contribute to the injuries, you can contribute that to just the lack of taking chances, and also the type of games they've been playing. I think the last game I got to watch Amazulu was when they played Golden Arrows and they won 3-0. I think it was a cup game, even. It was a Carling Cup game. Yeah. That was the last game I bought. Otherwise, I've just been catching highlights a little because a lot of their games, I can see games clash with. Oh no! It was the Amazulu and Sundowns game. That's the last game of theirs that I actually watched. And when I showed the game in Sundowns, should it have the penalty or should the game have, ended 1-1? Did it deserve a point? That's chatter. It could have gone either way. They lost, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, I'm not too about Satang or Beoko. They missed the penalty in the Sundowns game. And this game against Sekhukhune, they finally won, right? Going into this game, they were coming off of a draw. Yeah. Before this game, they were coming off of a draw. Badlala bawina. No, they came off this game. They coming off of a draw, and they got a win finally. Fortunately enough, and into ngayibuzang Amazulu is what I don't really see what they're doing, and I find it difficult to understand into bahlanganisa. I really don't know much about the team. One, but two, it's also very difficult to understand into bahlanganisa in terms of the system they're trying to play. If I was to rank my team as a winning from the KZN, it would be top. It would be, despite their form, Golden Arrows has to be top. You have to put second in there, Royal AM. Third team, you'd have to put Amazulu, right? And then at fourth, you have to put Richards Bay FC. So you see that they really, because I don't get into my entire. I fail to understand how sometimes when they play, I'm lost, I'm confused. But at the end of the day, you really don't get what they're trying to put together. Is it a system? What's their system? What's their starting 11? What's their... They seem just to be putting the results, but going and then And Sekhukhune on the other side now, but for me, about inconsistent, the back-to-back defeats. They were coming off of back-to-back defeats. The winners obviously in their last 2 now, in their last 3. Very little momentum on their side. So, it was a bit of a 6-pointer because you're going up against a team which is also trying to avoid relegation, and they're trying to finish in a decent spot between 12th and 8th. So you're competing against a team that is somewhere around you in the table. And it's difficult it seems as though a lot of the times, right, especially between team, definitely from 8th going downwards, it seems as though 80% of the time so far in the season, a team may win a low game, a team is at their home pitch. It's very rare to see a team languishing around you in the table or below you in the table beat you at your own home pitch. And it seems to be a recurring theme, right? Because Sekhukhune in the previous game, I think they played Chippa. They beat Chippa at home 2-0. But look, one CT, I think they were playing a certain team, and then they beat them at home. Or did they lose? Oh no, it was a loss to Chiefs, so it was a loss. But you see that a lot of the times, home advantage does play a major and a significant role. I think Royal AM played Golden Arrows and they won at home. So you see how like these teams of which are trying to survive in the league, a lot of them they put a lot of emphasis on their home games, and I don't blame them, man. I really don't. So it was very much a very hey touch and go game, of which I didn't really watch. I just saw highlights. So it was like, hey guys, Junior with Dion, Kwarafuti, halala. Yeah. Hey man, don't shoot the messenger, okay? Blame the DC Premiership for setting up their games like that. I didn't do anything. Now into the games I wish I watched. Oh no, I didn't watch this one. Oh, this one I didn't watch it. I was busy. Yeah. SuperSport versus Swallows. Moraga Swallows lose, coming off of a second defeat again. I think they won this in 3 now, if I'm not mistaken. And they won this in 2. Winners these days, they won this in 3. Swallows at the moment, you know, you find yourself playing Pirates, you lose the Pirates, you play Chipper, you lose the Chipper. And then you playing SuperSport at home. You think, okay, we might just win this game, we have a chance. The SuperSport makes a couple of substitutes, changes the game, they end up winning. Sure, they were dominating, but they weren't really taking their chances. Bantu about to work in our watching the game and you never arrive for life. 2 goals done. Oh, and then because the squad, I think they scored the winner in like the 89th minute or the 86th minute, and I'm like, yes, they scored the winner in the 86th minute, and you're just like, yo, you know, for I think there's some, regardless of the injuries that Sono's experiencing, I think it's one positive that can be taken out of it is that they have the individual quality to keep themselves in games. It's all about game management that they lack, I think, at the moment. Because I don't think it's a personnel thing. Because if you look at the game against SuperSport, you're 1-0 up, right? Gabatino Mhango comes off the bench, scores a massive of a free kick, you know, left top bins, keeper's wrong-footed. Why was he? The keeper moves one way, then comes back the other way. Then just like, what are you doing, bro? What are you, Joe? I know. Okay, the goal ahead. You see the goal up, pam. They try to put a few passes together. Second goal doesn't come. SuperSport makes it under pressure. You know, Kevin Hunt's team is very good in terms of being on the front foot. Momentum is moving on their side. They make a couple of substitutes. 2 goals. You know. And looking at how Kevin Hunt's team came set up, when you go into a game, I've never looked at a game and said, oh, coach is playing 3-5-2, they're trying to attack. The intention was to play on the counter. Can't only find out in the game that no, Solos is willing to get dominated possession-wise. And Hrobla and Hunt and his men had fun. And they eventually got the winner, which is fair enough. Keeps them second in the log. Keeps them on about 9 points out of 26 and 27 points out of Sundowns' reach. So, you know, somewhat of a title hunt, I guess, in a sense. Hoping for Sundowns to slip up. You know, they're in a good position in second on the log. I think they're like a point ahead of Stellies, or 2 points ahead of Stellies, who are third on the log. So they're in a good position. Momentum available now. By Pile Grande, something now. Maybe Sundowns versus 2 games on the trot. And then the title race starts looking a bit shaky all of a sudden. You know? Or they might find, I think they're doing good enough. I think they might finish third, actually. I'm not sure if they finish second. I can see them finishing third, though. So that's probably one aspect of it, which is very interesting. But it is what it is, you know. They went to the game hoping to win because obviously stats better. The stats bolster SuperSport's side, or they favor them. But even though the stats, you know, they back SuperSport, there's a valid significant amount of respect towards what Solos is doing. You know, I think they experienced a lot of injuries. Gombela has come out, Skis came on and said that publicly, and everybody knows that. So you Wabona is trying to put together something to by pay more positioning and credit in the day or about. And then on the other side, it's where therefore the numbers are born, Joe. They don't look pretty. Joe. They won less than 4. I think 3 losses on the trot and a draw. You know, gave me that hell because even I think it's the no. There's a different game. But like the game about right so Joe ya tell. Abahono kopans and tosa wala be credit ba sharp. Every time I got into a next something happens, you know. Even in this game, Monebar okay, guys, promised land, just by the finish line. You know, and then I was stuck on a post. And like, no, Joe Rich now. Like, what's gonna happen at this point? I think it's one of those moments I'll fit dressing room after like post. And like when they got up and as door and as nje ayikekile kusho hey ingxaki zami zinjonge emehlweni zinjongile zathi nje zanqabe ne-full 3-piece suit zathi siyazapho, because there's no way this makes any sense, guys. Like I think 2 teams in worse form leaguing aside from Swallows Cape Chiefs. 2 teams in worse form Cape Town Spurs, which have been losing ever since day one, and Golden Arrows, which have lost 7 games on the spin now. So I wanna write more a Klangan Luzula. Shubi leje pegele I was not this fella yabo. So we are positioned to then ask ourselves, what then does Gombela do to better the team? Does he go into the January market and try and get 2 loan signings, or does he try and switch up the squad a little bit to get a few results, waiting on the return of certain first-team players? If you ask me, a good mixture of both does not hurt, right? Maybe not necessarily 2 or 3 loanees, but definitely 1, of which you think will have the most impact in the position, whether that be a defensive change, or no, a defensive signing, or a midfield signing. I don't think they lack goals. I just don't think they have game management capabilities anymore. And so, Lucas Amrao, and I firmly believe that the best form of attack is defense. If we give ourselves a chance not to concede, we give ourselves a chance to score. Because it's difficult to work from a deficit. When you're already going into a game knowing that you're a goal down, it's not nice. It's very difficult. And psychologically, it's also not easy to overcome this sort of a situation, right? Now, then you get the SuperSport side. As a closing note, it's good that they've gotten the win, because now they've in like a 2-game loss. They lost 2 games on the trot. Now they're back to winning ways, climbing back up the ladder again. Now on to the most impressive game of the weekend. Is Mnyamangan Paga Juge. The dark ones that prosper. I know it's about Kibel. I know. I think it's 3 wins on the trot, 3 wins straight now. Pirates home and away, 2 at home, 1 away. In the process, Babetile Swallows, Babeta TS Galaxy, Babetano Golden Arrows. 3 teams of which are in a very difficult position. You did what you needed to do. Swallows 2-0, 1-0 against TS and 2-1 against Arrows. Clean sheets at home, 2 clean sheets at home, and 2-1 on the road. Everything il bereketse the way il batla il sebetsa ka teng, il berekile le kril 9 points alena. He ure halala. We must command Jose Riveiro because I think he's probably one of the better coaches in the PSL. And it's impressive how he always sets up his team well enough to win. You know, in this game, I don't didn't play. I think he was injured because I didn't even see him on the team sheet, so I'm assuming that it's an injury. And then you have almost 4 or 5 changes in the lineup, left and right wing, Arbat Sebi, but the team still performs. You see that the striker setup is good as it is, you know, Mahopa and the other guy, I forgot the other guy's name. Mahopa and the other guy, you find the right balance for them. Yes, Mahopa. Oh yeah. Mahopa and Lepasa setup is pretty good. You have Mahopa starting as your 9. You have Lepasa coming off the bench, which makes sense, right? Jose, you saw something of which Mahopa benching, and it's working, dog. Like I can't complain, because I think the Barca against Sundowns the Barca game off the bench against Sundowns scored. So now you're in a good position. Your team is rolling. Your front line is scoring. The rotations you put on your flanks have an impact. Whether it's the starting 11 or whether it's the 2 that start or those that are coming off the bench, it's respectable what he's doing tactically and performance-wise. You know, or you switch it up a bit more. Forgetting was starting a couple of games. Now he switched it up a little bit. There's a bit more rotation. The performances look a lot more interesting, and also you're a lot less predictable when you do that as a team. And I think post, the cup failure in the Carling Cup, in the knockout, sure they won the MTN 8, but then they got knocked out the Carling Cup. They've been doing pretty decently ever since then. Getting the results when they needed to, and getting the performances as well. Because I don't think I doubted whether they'd win the game against Golden Arrows. Mainly because they made is very set, it's very strong. It has a lot of busy bodies in it, So yeah, man, it's respectable. We appreciate good football in South Africa. We respect good football in South Africa, and Jose Riveiro is doing justice to that. Marukto Tswalanga, guys. I feel for Mabuti Kanyeza. That Mabuti Kanyeza is going through it. Babi adlule kwinkinga shem. Hayi inkinga zakhe simphethe kanje nje. Ayikho lento engiyibonayo, guys. Kudliwa ngaka. Hey, ngiyafika lapha eGolden Arrows. I-trackers akascori. Amaplaka ayadlisa. Ama-performances ngesinye isikhathi amnandi, ngesinye isikhathi ayabheda. Mawuthi uyabamba lafa, mawuthi hayi akuhlangani nje, akuhlangana, ayikho into ehlanganayo nje, yonke into nje iyabhidlika. Ngathi konke lapho kuthelwa ngamanzi. Mara yabona ukuthi into eyizamayo, i-Golden Arrows is probably the most interesting team in the PSL in terms of how they play football. Very entertaining, very enthralling, very fast paced, Kodwa ama-results awahambi nabo kahle kahle. They struggle to get the win. I think it's like 7 losses on the trot or 6 losses on the trot, and it's like, whoa. Not big scoreline, but 1-0, 2-1, 3-1, 2-1, 1-0. Like, it's not crazy losses, but it's never like. I think at some point, about number 2 we look. behlala kamnandi nje, yonke into bahambela right, badlala ne-Chiefs, beshiya Chiefs, you know. And I was like, yo, badlala nenye team, badlala kamnandi nje, bathi fa a couple of goals. And then once they lost against Amazulu 3-0 in the Carling Cup, they've just become a shell of themselves in terms of just failing to win, you know. I think it's not about trying to it's not trying to out defend a team, just trying to outscore them. They fail to even do that. So in Dubai, seeing them not get a win, it would hurt me to see Kanyeza get sacked. But I'm hearing rumors about that, you know. They hit him with the classic Mourinho questions. Do you feel the pressure? You know? It's like, I don't feel the pressure, you know. But this is football, man. This is the painful reality of it all, that sometimes results just won't go for you. And then you'll find yourself in difficult positions of which you might be like, hey guys, what are we doing at this point? You know, what's gonna happen now? So it's just, I don't know, man. It's really tough to be in the position that he's in. I wouldn't want to be in it. I don't desire to be in it. But it must be that he finds a solution to the problem. I think he has a good run of games coming. He has a chance to win with the next couple of fixtures coming up his way. And he should hopefully get a result. I think the last game of the year, they're playing a pretty decent or an easy enough fixture. On the 30th of December, I forgot the team they're playing up against. So that should grant him a chance to really try and get a result before going into the December break for the season. The January break, technically, because, for the season. But, I give you a bear. Now on to the... I think I predicted this. I'm not sure if I predicted this yet, but I predicted Stellenbosch to win the Carling Cup, and they did. I thought they'd win it in regulation. Fair to TS Galaxy. TS Galaxy should have won that game, I'm not going to lie. There's a chance in the 87th minute. Mahlangu flopped that chance. He's going down, I nearly said baseline, basketball terms. He's going down the left side, taking his man on, beats his man. He's one on one with the goalkeeper. There's two steady defenders and his striker over there. Then there's another player of his behind the two defenders, right? But in between the two defenders, there's enough space of which if someone passed the ball, it could get through. At a certain angle, if he curls the ball, if he chips the ball, this outer part of his foot, when it curls, it was gonna go up and dip in, right? So then the two defenders wouldn't be able to get to it, and so it would have given them a chance. Mara Umuntu chose all the glory for himself, and there's nothing you can say. Any player would have chosen the glory for himself in that situation. I don't say a Kevin De Bruyne and Messi as well, right? So as in play being get decision I did. It's how he executed the decision of which seemed very poor. You have so much space. Sure, the keeper was really committing himself down when Sanjay just straight away, Joe, and it's like you're not putting a decent enough case for yourself to not be dropped come the next game. If someone asked me, is that what cost him? That's literally the one chance that cost him for me, right? Because regardless of, it's the 89th minute and you have this chance to win the game. You're thinking of how you're going to celebrate before you even take the shot. That's what happened. And then he missed it. The man standing behind the two defenders, squatting, and then they ended up losing the game on penalties, 5-4. I think it was a fair result for either side. Did I expect it? Yeah, I can say that I expected it. In terms of the outcome, not how the game truly played itself out, because fair enough, it was a game very evenly tied. It makes sense why it went down to the wire and to penalties. And kudos to TS Galaxy. I think they put up a brave fight. Seeing that in the semi-final they were down 2-0 and they came back 3-2 to win the game. And to put up this sort of performance in a final, worthy of a win as well. But I think I expected Stellies to win because one, they played a bit of football, but two, they came into the game on better form. Right? They came into the game on a roll, having beaten quite a few teams in the league and being in a very, very stable position in the log as well. So it makes sense why they would come out on top. Justin, and that's the thing, right? You can't really predict how one thing falls or comes to pass, but at the end of the day, the way it came to pass the way it did for a reason. So I guess that's that. Kodwa nje ngizokusho ukuthi qaphela when in a final. As a player, it's very important to remain in the moment. The minute ucabanga phambili into ezoyenza masukuwarile mfana uyogeja. See that for me, I played wing and striker. You don't want to celebrate before you hit the ball because it never ends well. But I can't relate to that. I'm a person who very much exists in the moment. And yeah, this is the episode. That's it. That's all I have football wise. Oh, there was a very good moment in like the 19th minute in the game when Steady's got a counter attack and they string up some one-touch football. That was Steady's football at its finest. Quick, fast-paced, minimal touches. Beautiful stuff. And guys, with that, Daniel Kala was essentially I need to attend to the child. That's the end of the episode. I thank you guys for watching. Whoever made it to the end, I appreciate you. I hope that the person who made it to the end is subscribed. And we look forward to many more episodes. And I hope that I'll get better production because these people are fucking noisy. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah. I thank you for watching. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your attention. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care.